Imagine running into the person who made your high school years miserable. Now imagine that person suddenly realizing you're their landlord. Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me when I was 25 years old. My old high school bully moved into one of my buildings and decided to start a fight with me in front of everyone. What happened next? Let's just say karma moved in right along with her. If you love stories where karma comes back around in the most satisfying ways, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below with the most outrageous revenge story you've ever heard. Trust me, this one gets wild. All right, let's get into it. When I was 25, my life looked nothing like the kid people remembered from high school. Back then, I was quiet, kept to myself, the kind of guy bullies assumed wouldn't fight back. But life has a funny way of flipping the script. By my mid-20s, I was managing several massive low-income apartment complexes for an absentee property owner. We're talking hundreds of units across multiple buildings. And I didn't run those buildings like some cold corporate landlord. I actually cared about the people who lived there. A lot of my tenants were struggling families, single parents, people escaping bad situations, people who just needed a break. If someone couldn't make rent, I'd work something out. Maybe they'd do small jobs around the building. Maybe I'd give them extra time. Sometimes I'd even help furnish apartments with donated furniture so families weren't living on bare floors. I've bought groceries for tenants before, paid for meals when someone was down on their luck. Word got around quickly that I wasn't just the landlord, I was the guy who had your back. And because of that, the tenants looked out for me too. The building had over 200 units, and the community inside it was tight. Which is why what happened next spread through the building like wildfire. One afternoon, I was walking through the lobby, checking on some maintenance work. That's when I heard a voice behind me. A voice I hadn't heard in years. "Wow, look who it is." I turned around, and standing there was one of the biggest bullies from my high school. Let's call her Ashley. Back in school, Ashley had been the kind of person who thrived on humiliating people. She'd make comments about how people looked, what they wore, where they came from. If she sensed someone was quiet or unsure of themselves, she went straight for them. I wasn't her main target, but she definitely took shots at me over the years. Little insults in the hallway, laughing with her friends when I walked by. That kind of thing sticks with you when you're young. But when I saw her standing in the lobby that day, honestly, I didn't care anymore. High school felt like another lifetime. So I just nodded and said, "Hey," and I kept walking. But Ashley wasn't done. "Wow," she said loudly, stepping in front of me. "Didn't expect to see you working here." The tone in her voice was dripping with that same old high school attitude, like she was already deciding I must be the janitor or something. I calmly replied, "I manage the building." For a moment, she just stared at me. Then she laughed. Not a friendly laugh, the kind of laugh meant to make you feel small. "Oh my God," she said, "you managing anything?" A couple of tenants in the lobby looked over. My staff was nearby too. Now, normally I don't engage in petty nonsense, but something about the way she said it, that old arrogance, that assumption she could still treat people like garbage. I looked her straight in the eye and said calmly, "Ashley, we're adults now. Grow up. I'm not taking disrespect from you." The lobby went quiet. Her face changed instantly, because bullies thrive on one thing, control. And the second you push back, they don't know what to do. Instead of walking away like a normal person, she doubled down, started raising her voice, talking trash, trying to embarrass me in front of everyone. But here's the thing she didn't realize. This wasn't high school anymore. This was my building. And the people around us weren't random bystanders. They were my tenants, people I'd helped, supported, looked out for. And they weren't about to sit back while someone disrespected me. The confrontation ended quickly. I just shook my head and walked away. But word spread, fast. Within hours, people in the building knew what had happened, and they were furious. I didn't ask anyone to do anything. I didn't encourage it. But tenants talk, and communities protect their own. A few days later, someone taped a crude poster to Ashley's apartment door. It wasn't flattering. Let's just say it made it very clear the building wasn't exactly thrilled to have her there. Then someone else started blasting heavy machinery above her unit and conveniently left for the entire weekend. People started heckling her in the hallways, muttering comments when she walked past, cold shoulders in the elevators. You could feel the tension every time she entered the building. Again, I never told anyone to do this, but when you treat people badly, eventually people remember. And Ashley apparently had treated a lot of people badly. About 2 weeks after the lobby incident, there was a knock on my office door. When I opened it, Ashley was standing there, but she looked completely different. The arrogance was gone. Her voice was shaky. "I need to talk to you." She stepped inside and sat down. Then she started apologizing, saying she didn't realize the situation, saying the building had become unbearable. And finally, she asked if I'd let her out of her lease early. Now, technically, I didn't have to. A lease is a contract. Breaking it usually means penalties. But at that point, things in the building were escalating. And honestly, I didn't want it turning into something worse. So I agreed. I told her she could move out early. No penalty. She looked relieved. But there was still one small moment left in this story. The day her movers arrived, the building was busy as usual. Tenants coming and going, maintenance crews working, everything normal. Except for one tiny detail. In our building, you needed a special key to operate the freight elevator for moving. And that morning, that key had somehow gone missing. The movers arrived downstairs with furniture carts ready to go. Ashley came storming into my office. "Where's the elevator key?" she demanded. I shrugged. "Honestly, I have no idea. Must have been misplaced." Her face turned bright red. "You have to be kidding me." She started yelling, kicking my office door, throwing a full-blown tantrum. Meanwhile, the movers stood there realizing exactly what this meant. They'd have to carry everything down multiple flights of stairs, box by box, furniture piece by furniture piece. And the entire time Ashley was losing her mind in the hallway, I just leaned back in my chair and smirked. Because after everything, after the insults, the arrogance, the disrespect, that one tiny inconvenience felt like the universe finally balancing the scales. Ashley eventually moved out that day, and once she was gone, the building returned to normal almost immediately. No more drama, no more hallway tension, just the same community it had always been. As for me, that was probably the pettiest thing I've ever done in my life. And honestly, looking back now that I'm older, yeah, maybe it was a little much. But at the same time, she really did bring it on herself. Sometimes karma doesn't show up right away, but when it does, it shows up with perfect timing. Life has a strange way of circling back. The people who once thought they had power over you might someday find themselves standing on the other side of the table. And when that moment comes, sometimes the best revenge isn't anger. It's simply watching karma do the work for you. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more real Reddit revenge stories just like this. And I'm curious, what's the most satisfying karma moment you've ever seen? Drop it in the comments below. Trust me, I read them all. And who knows, your story might be the next one featured here.